Recap. My husband and I live together in an apartment. I go to work every day at 7 a.m., and by the time I get home at 7 p.m., the lights are on in every room, and the water is running in the kitchen and the bathroom sinks. According to him, they're on all day, every day. He's unemployed and I cannot work from home, and we are wasting a lot of money. I have asked him if there's any reason he needs to turn them on all day, but he tells me that it's impossible to turn the lights and water off. When I told him that it's not impossible because he can turn them off using his hands, he said, "But you have hands and you choose not to work as a mechanic, so I also can choose not to turn it off. So when I'm at home, I turn them off, but he refuses to turn them off himself. When I talk to him about it, he says that I'm nagging him and I should leave him alone. Is he right that I'm wrong? And is mechanic analogy accurate? He does control things financially. I'm the only one who works because the day we were legally married, he changed, quit his job, and did not respect our living space at all. He insists I give him all the money we have left after paying for the essentials, saying that I'm toxic if I don't. And I don't even have credit on my phone or buy things I need because he insists on having all the money." Update. Am I the idiot for wanting my husband to turn off the lights and faucets? So, I had shared my story about a week ago, and you guys told me that he was toxic. At first, I was absolutely convinced it was my fault, but it led me to getting help from social services. As a result, I've separated from my husband. The thing is that I do feel quite lonely without him, and I'm looking for advice and guidance on staying strong. He's currently at his parents' place. The main things about him: he says he doesn't love me. He says he hates me. Says no one would ever want me. He quit his job and made me pay for everything and do all the chores, which in itself would have been tolerable, except he yelled at me for not doing everything well enough and wasted electricity and water that I paid for. My husband doesn't have friends. He's just with his dad, who isn't a big fan of his attitude either. I've talked to his dad. My husband regularly texts me how awful I am and he hates me, but I don't read them. I told him not to bother me anymore. Thank you all so much for the kind words. I have my first appointment with a therapist from social services tomorrow, so I reckon that'll be helpful. But yeah, I absolutely did feel lonely with him. He was always in the other room, locked door, so I couldn't talk to him or bother him. We didn't even hug because he said he wasn't attracted to me. At least I don't have to be disappointed every day, but I admit that I am lonely and sad. So what can I do to cope? Wow, that is so wrong. Men taking advantage of women like that are seriously horrible and deserve to be in jail. Keep reminding yourself why you left, the insults, the anger. Don't be afraid to get angry or sad or even lonely. Just don't let them cause you to break no contact with him. It'll only lead you back down the dark path you've just escaped from. Next, start something small with rebuilding your social circle. If there's anyone you've lost touch with, since or because of your marriage, see if you can reconnect. Some will, some won't, but at least try. Also, speak to your social worker to see if there's any groups, etc., that you can recommend where you can meet new people. It'll take time, but if you stay strong, you'll get there, and it'll be a whole new life for you. Good luck. OP, join groups. There are meetup groups for people new to places. Volunteer. Go out and meet some people. There are even friendship apps you can join. It doesn't have to be dating. Just meeting new people and moving on and getting yourself back to some form of healthy and not so isolated. You did the right thing and made a courageous decision for yourself. You deserve so much better. And one day you'll look back and wonder how you could ever be okay with the situation you were in. A relationship should be full of love and unconditional support, not insults and violence. Focus on yourself and the things that make you happy, and the good things will naturally follow. You've taken an enormous step toward a better life, and I'm proud of you. Good luck. Okay, so it's not that I, female 26, hate kids. I really don't. But you'd think that I did if you spoke to my family. My parents and the rest of my family are going insane over my sister Sophia's pregnancy. It's dominating every discussion and every family get-together. I won't lie, this has been getting to me. Like, I'm not saying it's not a blessing, but oh my God. I'm bored of talking about baby showers, baby names, clothes, etc. So I just kind of turn off when it comes up now. I'm trying to be polite, but it's incredibly upsetting because the father of my future nephew or niece is the guy I was, and might still be, I don't know anymore, really in love with. Luke was someone I dated first, back in my final year of university. Luke is from my home city too, but we hadn't met prior. We dated a good few months before he decided we worked better as friends. Of course this hurt, but I pushed through it, and we got a good friendship out of it. So when we graduated, we both went back home, and he pretty much spent the entire summer at ours because he had a difficult relationship with his father. That's when Luke and Sophia got together. Yet, despite all this history between Luke and me, no one in my family seems to think this whole experience might be a little strange for me. I won't lie, when I saw him kissing my sister, drunk at a party, I kind of thought, you idiot, but it's okay, it won't last. Safe to say it lasted. But whatever. You know, you have to get over stuff like this. And I am, but I'm not a fountain of enthusiasm over it either. The drama came when my mom asked me if I could plan the baby shower, and I told her no, basically because I disagree with them trying to hold one during a global issue anyway, that I have a life outside of this whole thing, and I'm busy. So I didn't say it, but it also feels weird for me to be so involved with my feelings being the mess that they are. I told her she could do it if she wanted. It's her grandchild, which makes more sense than me doing it. But my mom got upset with me and my tone and accused me of being unsupportive of my sister's happiness this whole time, and even selfish for not wanting to be a part of it more. And I wasn't going to take that because I've tried hard to be mature over this. So I told her she was suffocating me with it. And not everyone has to do everything she wants all the time, and told her off for making a drama out of nothing. But now she's upset with me, and I'm starting to feel bad. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This has nothing to do with your history with Luke. Don't do it if you don't want to do the baby shower. Your mom is being extremely entitled to think she can give comments like that and then commit emotional blackmail when people refuse. Moms have the reputation of being so kind and supportive, but I've mostly noticed that they tend to be the entitled little children that always have to get their way. So strange. I would argue that the fact that her sister and ex got together has a lot to do with this, particularly regarding how OP's mother is treating her. While I agree that OP is not the idiot either way, but her mother being so insensitive ramps up the level of idiot that she is in my mind. I think it's disgraceful that the entire family act like OP's original relationship never happened. How cruel. I'm going to say not the idiot, and I don't think you would be even if your sister weren't dating your ex. You basically never had time to grieve your relationship or get over your feelings for him because he was a constant presence in your life. Your ex is an idiot for hooking up with your sister, and if your sister knew you dated and never once asked you how you felt about it, then she's an idiot too. I think you're doing exactly as you need to do. You are distancing yourself from your sister and ex until you're in a better headspace. 2 years ago, my husband left me for my best friend after 20 years of marriage, and they got married. As much as I loved my husband, his affair wasn't a surprise. My mother-in-law told me that men like him don't stay loyal to women like me on our wedding day. She was right. What hurt most was the betrayal from my best friend. I loved this woman and considered her a sister. Since then, I have gone no contact with both of them. Any communication regarding the kids goes through a third party. If they are at an event, I don't go there. My kids know this and have respected this boundary. They know not to mention them to me, and we celebrate birthdays separately. The kids are grown up. Recently, when we were all at our house, my youngest daughter, nearly adult, asked me if I was okay with her calling her stepmom Mom. She said since she will have a half-sibling soon, this will make the half-sibling not confused and part of the family. I told her that I was not okay with that woman being called Mom, but she could call her Mom if she wanted to. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean she doesn't have to do it. I won't be mad at her if she calls her Mom. The other kids started getting mad at her, but I shut them down. My mother-in-law called me screaming, saying I was alienating the stepmom, and I should have told my daughter that I was okay with it. I have an honest policy with my kids. I'm always open and honest with them. Just because I do not personally like something they do, doesn't mean I don't let them do it. For example, my son has a lot of piercings I don't like, but that doesn't mean I forbid him from having them. Not the idiot. At her age, the kid should understand why you would not be okay with that. Besides, I don't see how the half-sibling would be confused if everything is explained to them like in any other blended family. It sounds like someone whispered in your kid's ear about calling the mistress mom thing, because I don't think a teen would think about it on their own. Put two and two together in this and come up with grandma stirring the pot more than a bit. Not sure what former mother-in-law's endgame is, but definitely up to something concerning the new one on the way. What is wrong with that kid, though? Why would they want to call a woman mom who spread her legs for the kid's married father? That's so distasteful. Maybe OP is hiding the cheating from her kids. Not the idiot. You have a very precious and invaluable communication line with your youngest. Being honest with each other, your child asking your thoughts on a sensitive matter, and you offering your perspective, yet encouraging her to make a choice that feels right for her, makes you not the idiot here. Consequently, perhaps that same approach would be valuable in asking her why she gave your meddling, vile mother-in-law your phone number. That vicious woman has no place in your life, and that's some audacity she has to be abusive to you about the agency you encourage in your household. Update. I gently asked my daughter why she gave mother-in-law my number. She said because grandma asked her. I wondered if it was her idea to call stepmom mom. She said yes. I told her she was more than allowed to call her mom. It doesn't matter how I felt about it. I also told her that I went no contact with her grandmother for a reason, and she wasn't allowed to give my number out to people I don't talk to. She apologized. Also, about the stepmom, she was my best friend for 15 years, and the kids considered her an aunt. When the affair happened, the oldest kid stopped talking to her, but the youngest was very attached to her still. Maybe that's why she feels comfortable with calling her mom. My fiance's, Kevin, parents split up when he was a little kid. His dad had been cheating with a friend of his mother's. I'm going to call his mom Lucy. Obviously, that is a horrible thing to go through, and in general, I hate cheaters. The dad got him every other weekend, and Lucy got primary custody. Like with a lot of divorced parents, he was a Disney dad. His house was all fun and games, and Kevin began preferring his dad and stepmom and complaining that Lucy was dull. To be fair, I don't think Lucy was a bad parent. She was doing the normal parenting stuff kids don't like, but she was a bit in love with her job and put that before Kevin. Lucy also tried to guilt him for liking his stepmom. When he was 13, Lucy began dating Mark. Right off the bat, Mark was calling Kevin spoiled and ungrateful and telling him how badly he hurt Lucy when he rejected her. This went on for a year, and finally, Mark overheard Kevin talking back to Lucy, packed him up, and drove him to his dad's house. To be honest, this was totally messed up. Yes, he was hurtful to his mom, but he was also a child. She was an adult and should have found a way to handle it. Lucy has shown no remorse for allowing Mark to do this. They got married shortly after, and Kevin refused to go to the wedding. They've been married for 15 years now, and it's clear she loves him 1,000 times more than her son. Kevin and I are getting married, and he decided he didn't want Mark there. I warned him that it was considered bad etiquette, and he might get some crap from family, but I will back him 100%. Lucy called us very upset and said that we couldn't invite her without her husband of 15 years, and we are disrespectful and immature. Kevin handled it that time. She got even madder when she found out his stepmom would be there. Lucy has had family members guilt trip us over not inviting Mark. She called last night and asked to discuss it. She teared up and said how badly her ex and Kevin hurt her, and she feels Mark is the only person who truly loves her. Kevin was starting to feel bad, so I told her what it says in the title and that she is a crap mom who chose a man and her feelings over her kid. Lucy said she would not be coming and hung up. Lucy's parents and her sister have been calling us since that conversation and saying I'm awful for how I talked to her, and now that we're all adults, we should see her side of it more. Everyone's the idiot here. Kevin sounds like he was a bratty kid with behavior egged on by his father and stepmother. But interestingly, Kevin is entirely okay with his father, who cheated on his mother and broke up the family and was a Disney dad after all this time. I think that Lucy sounds like she's better off with her new family. The pain of being cheated on by your partner, only to have your child outright prefer the person who hurt you, is a lot to process and deal with. Unfortunately, it sounds like she didn't handle things well either. And you seem melodramatic and unkind. This isn't about the cheating. Them getting divorced and the reasons are not the issue. His mother allowed a man she wasn't married to pack up her kid and send him to his dad's. I don't blame him for not wanting to come around and have this guy at his wedding. She's lucky he talks to her at all. Oh God, I feel like there are multiple idiots here, and none of them are Lucy. This is how your story plays out to me. A single mother, as a primary custodian, works every hour to feed her child. She gets treated like crap by said child because cheating darling daddy makes it rain, and he has no understanding of the cost of raising a child and running a home on a single wage. Single mother finds a new man that treats her the way she deserves. The new man tries to discipline his spoiled stepson for disrespecting his mother, and said spoiled stepson never really grew up. Instead grows up hero worshipping daddy the cheat and the homewrecker he cheated with. History repeats itself. I hope you're getting a prenup. You are the idiot, OP. Call up mother-in-law, apologize, perhaps make Kevin apologize too for what he was like as a kid. Tell her she's welcome to invite her husband, and maybe consider a coffee date in the future to get to know her better and hear her side of things. If you do that, you may find out Kevin's true colors soon enough. My son is a toddler and only started school full-time this year. My ex has only been to the school twice since our son started on the first day and the last day of his first week. My ex volunteered to pick him up yesterday. Our son's school usually keeps all of the children inside the classroom, and then the teacher will call them out one by one as their parents or guardians come to collect them. So when my ex told the teacher he was there to pick up our son, he was told she would need to contact me before she let our son leave with him, as I hadn't informed the school that someone else would be collecting our son today. My ex got annoyed because she had met him before, and she wouldn't let our son confirm he was who he said he was. So in the end, I was called to the school to collect our son. When I got there, she explained that they did this for the safety of the students, and then in the future, could I please inform the school if anyone that wasn't me would be coming to collect my son, so that they were aware. I said thank you to her, because it was great to know that the school took my son's safety so seriously. My ex is angry at me for thanking the teacher and saying I shouldn't have when she acted like an idiot, as she had met him before, and our son would have recognized him. As our son's dad, he thinks he shouldn't need my permission to collect his own son, and he was angry at me for coming to collect him instead of just insisting the school let my ex bring him home. He went on and on about it and told me he would be changing our son's school since this was never where he wanted to send him, and he was the one paying for it. I told him he was just angry because someone didn't just give him what he wanted like he was used to. Am I the idiot? You knew he was picking your son up at school and forgot to call to let them know? When the teacher called, all you had to say was, "Oops, sorry, it slipped my mind. Yes, my husband is supposed to pick the child up today." Instead, you made him look like an asshole, giving the appearance he was there unauthorized by showing up and retrieving your son instead. You are the idiot. Everyone hears stories of kids being nabbed by relatives from daycare. Why didn't you call ahead to warn your ex was showing up? Are you sure you weren't trying to inconvenience him on purpose? I'm hoping no, as that would make you a bad parent for causing your son to deal with that situation so young. Next time ex volunteers to pick up his child, be more grown up about it and tell the school.